Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Sarasota Garden Center. Yes, they've spruced up the place, and it's so lovely to be back here with you all. This is the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast, where we invite a new realization of our spiritual truth and knowing how to live that life as a spiritual center for living out in the real world, so to speak, right? So this is where we learn about that. This is where we grow together. This is where we study together. And this is where we get to be in community every Sunday. So my name is Kathleen Frankert. I'm a licensed spiritual practitioner here at the center. And I greet you wholeheartedly and with so much joy with Namaste. Namaste is Sanskrit, and it means the divinity in me recognizes and honors the divinity in you. We have such a wonderful service for you today. I've seen the agenda. I'll tell you a little bit about it. I'm not going to give away all the surprises, though. So we have back with us this morning our spiritual director, Reverend Theresa. And we have been looking at our... Yes. Let's hear it for Theresa. Yes. So our theme this month has been the frequency of peace. Isn't that an interesting concept? The frequency. And so Theresa is going to be joined with several members of our community here this morning to explore one particular aspect of the frequency of peace, and that is peace in our relationships. So I'm sure they'll have things for us to contemplate and to carry forward into our lives from here. So I look forward to that. I hope you do too. Oh, and please, again, I forgot, welcome to those of you online. We're so glad that you are with us, either live or later. Yes, it's such a wonderful thing to be omnipresent in a way through the internet, right? So thank you for joining us today, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. We really do welcome you and thank you for joining us. This morning, we have someone joining us as our soloist who has been here before as part of a duo and part of a band, but now we get her all to ourselves. Our soloist this morning is Jamie Tremps, and welcome back, Jamie. We have a short prayer, and yes, then we're ready to go with Jamie. Yes. But yes, let's start with prayer. Let's start just by getting kind of settled here, right? Just allow yourself to be just present to this moment where life is happening. It's only happening right here. The future hasn't arrived. The past is gone. Right now is where life is. Allow your thoughts to become centered in the realization of a one power, a one presence that moves in, as, and through all of life. Call it the divine spirit, God, by whatever name. And I invite you to join me in affirming these truths for yourself. Divine love is loving me. Divine health is healing me. Divine support is supporting me. Divine guidance is guiding me. Divine prosperity is prospering me. Divine inspiration is inspiring me. Whatever condition, challenge, or opportunity before me, I am guided, guarded, and protected, prospered, and fortified by this abiding good. I know that no challenge is greater than this infinite power and presence. Therefore, I am grateful for its realization and its unfolding now in my life. I am so grateful also for this time together this morning in spiritual community, knowing that all are blessed by the message and the music we enjoy right here and right now. Accepting and expecting this blessing, I let it be so. And so it is. Welcome, Jamie.
Hi. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you all for having me. So when I read the theme, this is the first song I thought of. And then I had to ask Theresa because I got nervous. And I was like, I don't know if this is appropriate. But she said it's fine, so I'm really excited to play it. She don't like her eggs all runny. She thinks crossing legs is funny. She looks down her nose at money. She gets it on like the Easter bunny. She's my baby and I'm her honey. Never gonna let her go. He ain't got laid in a month of Sundays. I caught him once, he was sniffing my undies. He ain't too sharp, but he gets things done. He drinks his beer like it's oxygen. He's my baby and I'm his honey. Never gonna let him go. Oh, in spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against our eyes, honey, with a big door prize. Now we're gonna spite our noses right off of our faces. There won't be nothing but big old hearts swimming in our eyes. Now she thinks all my jokes are corny and convict movies make her horny. She likes ketchup on her scrambled eggs and she swears like a sailor when she shaves her legs. She takes a licking and she keeps on ticking, never gonna let her go. He got more balls than a big brass monkey. He's a whacked out weirdo and a love bug junkie. He's sly as a fox and he's crazy as a loon. Payday comes and he's howling at the moon. He's my baby, I don't mean maybe. Never gonna let him go. Oh, in spite of ourselves, as we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against our eyes, honey, with the big door prize. Oh, we're gonna spite our noses right off of our faces. Oh, there'll be nothing but big old hearts swimming in our eyes. In spite of ourselves, yes, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against our eyes, honey, with the big door prize. And we're gonna spite our noses right off of our faces. There won't be nothing but big old hearts swimming in our eyes. There won't be nothing but big old hearts swimming in our eyes. There won't be nothing but big old hearts swimming in our eyes. Thank you.
So cute, Jamie. I love it. So she asked me if it was appropriate to sing that song. I said, hell yeah. What do we teach here? It's all God. That means all the body parts. Yeah, Good. I love it, love it, love it. I want to just take a couple minutes to introduce two people that you already know that you don't need me to introduce. But what I want to tell you is about their accomplishments. See, we've got a group of people who have just completed 2, some of them much more than 2, years of classes. Right? And that's an exciting thing right there. I've told the story, I'm not going to tell it right now, but the first time I ever saw Bobby was because he had just gotten that certificate from finishing those. And I was like, oh my God, he's so spiritual. So exciting, so sexy when people know this teaching and live from the power within them. It's so exciting. Anyway, back to this group of people. So they are now embarking, some of them, not all of them, but some of them are now embarking on another 2-year journey called practitioner training. Year 1 is now called Advanced Consciousness Studies. That's sexy, huh? Advanced Consciousness Studies. I mean, like, who doesn't want to be in that class? And that's very cool, yeah. So I'm hoping during the next few weeks, that I'm going to get to introduce you to most of those. Not all of them are here in town. Some of them take these classes online. But I'm hoping I can introduce you to some of them anyway. And so you can watch as they blossom and continue to blossom and blossom and blossom. So first, Diana Wyatt, come on up. And Jane Kyle Yoder. I promised you interfaith prayers. So these folks are going to be doing our interfaith prayers for the next several weeks. So have at it, you two.
Namaste. So, interfaith prayers for peace. I'm going to begin with a quote from Mahatma Gandhi that many of you certainly have heard. Like the bee gathering honey from the different flowers, the wise person accepts the essence of all the different scriptures and sees only the good in all religions.
And my interfaith prayer for peace is a Baha'i prayer for peace. Be generous in prosperity and thankful in adversity. Be fair in thy judgment and guarded in thy speech. Be a lamp unto those who walk in darkness and a home to the stranger. Be eyes to the blind and a guiding light unto the feet of the erring. Be a breath of life to the body of humankind, a dew to the soil of the human heart, and a fruit upon the tree of humility. And the Buddhist prayer for peace. May all beings everywhere plagued with sufferings of body and mind quickly be freed from their illnesses. May those frightened cease to be afraid. And may those bound be free. May the powerless find power, and may people think of befriending one another. May those who find themselves in trackless, fearful wildernesses, the children, the aged, the unprotected, be guarded by beneficent celestials, and may they swiftly attain Buddhahood.
We would like to finish today with a Christian prayer for peace. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be known as the children of God. I say, you that hear, love your enemies and do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who abuse you. To those who strike you on the cheek, offer the other also. And from those who take away your cloak, offer them your coat as well. Give to everyone who begs of you. And of those who take away your goods, do not ask them again. And as you wish that others would do to you, do so to them. Namaste.
I'll try not to get my hair stuck in my guitar this time. Did you see that? I had 3 more strands when I showed up than I have now. This is a song by a band called the Postal Service. I'm thinking that it's a sign that the freckles in our eyes are mirror images, and when we kiss they're perfectly aligned. Well, I have to speculate that God himself did make us into corresponding shapes, like puzzle pieces from the clay. It's true, now it might seem like a stretch, but it's thoughts like this that catch my worried mind when you're away, and I am missing you to death. When you're out there on your own for several weeks it shows, and when you scan the radio, I hope this song will guide you home, and they will see us waving from such great heights. Come down now, they'll say, but everything looks perfect from far away. Come down now, but we'll stay. Oh, I tried my best to leave this all on your machine, but that persistent beep sounded thin. And that, no, it frankly will not fly. We'll hear those shrillest highs and the lowest lows. With windows down, the song is guiding you home. They will see us waving from such great heights. Come down now, they'll say, but everything looks perfect from far away. Come down now, but we'll stay. And they will see us waving from such great heights. Come down now, they'll say, but everything looks perfect from far away. Come down now, but we'll stay. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Y'all can find her around town, I'm sure. I've seen her at the Blase Cafe on Siesta, which is just a fun place to hear live music. I'm not going to ask for a show of hands on how many of you practiced. You know what? Let me stop and start over. I'm Reverend Theresa Fieberts. because I know that I've seen some faces in here this morning that I don't recognize, and you may not know who I am. So I'm the minister, I'm the founding minister here. We have Rev G over here as well. So I'm Theresa Fieberts, and I'm real happy that you've chosen to be with us this morning, so thank you for being here. Last week, this whole month we're talking about peace, as Kathleen said, and last week I gave you two practices, two meditations to use during the week to help you. I'm just going to ask you to check in with yourself if you did that. If you didn't and you forgot what they are, you can go back to YouTube and look at it, and I encourage you to do that. I had the opportunity to use the coherent breathing a lot this week. And I also had the opportunity to use the Thich Nhat Hanh with the affirmations. I didn't use his affirmations. I substituted my own in there. You know, on the in-breath, I had my affirmation. On the out-breath, my affirmation, because I was waiting for a radiologist to tell me what he saw. It was all good anyway. But, you know, those things come in handy. That's why we're doing this all month long. I'm giving you all these little treats, and now the prayers too, so you have something to hold on to when things feel a little rocky and rough, okay? So, are you at peace with everyone you meet? Not going to ask for a raise of hand either, especially if you're here with your significant other. That could be embarrassing for a little, you know, maybe. Yeah. All right, well, we're going to have another meditation for that today, too. All right, just saying, at the end of my time up here. I want you to have a full toolbox. Our number one principle in this teaching is oneness. Is the idea that there's one thing ever happening, there's one thing that comes from the infinite invisible into form. That's me, that's you. That's the experiences we have. It's the things that we have. It's the things that we see, the things that we use. It's everything. There's nothing not that divine incarnation. In our Declaration of Principles for the Science of Mind teaching, we read, this number one, we believe in the individualization of the Spirit in us, and that all people are individualizations of this one Spirit. If you are staying for the orientation after the service, I'm going to show you all 10 of those. But that's number one. That's our grounding philosophy. And many of you probably know, in fact, Diana said, namaste. Namaste, right? You've heard that. Namaste is the divinity in me greets and honors the divinity in you. What if we could look at everybody every day, all the time, no matter what they just said to us, no matter who they're voting for, no matter anything, and we could see that? I see the divinity in you. I know that, because even though we look separate, we are not. Because there's only one thing, that divine creative intelligence, that unconditioned love in form, all form. Ernest Holmes, the founder of this teaching, said, peace is always at the center of our soul. It's not something we create. It's not an atmosphere that we create. It's not even a vibe or a frequency that we create. It's something that's already in us. It is part of us. It's available to us all the time. So we become available to it. That's what we do. We don't create it, we become available. We allow it, we open to it, to experience it, right? Many of you probably have heard of Amma, the hugging saint, somebody who's probably hugged more people than anybody else in the whole wide world, right? She said it this way: behind all names and forms is the one and the same true self. Only one. Only one. Yeah. So I've got a little activity for you. I want you to look around the room, look at all the people here. See all the people, look around the room. If you're online, maybe there's people in your living room, maybe not. Maybe look at some pictures in your living room. Maybe imagine friends, family, coworkers. And now I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. If you're not comfortable closing your eyes all the way, maybe just lower your gaze so you're not looking at anyone and just go within. So that right here we can have an experience of conscious awareness to the heart space. Breathing into the heart space. See if you can feel the divine, feel that oneness, feel that inspiration, that spark, that thing that is in you and all life, all sentience. Just register how you feel with that. Now, open your eyes and slowly look at people next to you and feel that word namaste as you make eye contact. What that means. What that means. You feel different. You feel it. It's an amazing thing, isn't it? You can feel that shift. I'm seeing you at home. It's different when we're intentional. It's very different when we're intentional. And it might be easy here because we actively try to create a safe space, right? It may not be easy to, gaze at the people in the grocery store line next to you. You might be getting a security guard comes over. But when we have a practice, it makes a difference. We can be triggered, and then that other person looks scary to us. We may not feel safe. We may react in a way that's defensive, right? I know that's never happened to anybody here. That's just me. It's usually old stories that are triggering that. It's our history. It's our old stories that are triggering that. And that is that's not present in that moment. Like something happens, you get triggered, but what you're being triggered by is something that's ancient history. Yeah? So, Viktor Frankl, does everybody know who Viktor Frankl is? Yeah, Man's Search for Meaning, one of the best books I've ever read. So he lost his entire family during the Holocaust. If you don't know who he is, quickly, he lost his whole family, and he was in a concentration camp. And the main thing he said was that nobody can take this away. My thoughts, my feelings, how I'm perceiving life. He created logotherapy. It's ours. And nobody gets in there, right? He said this, it's important. Between the stimulus and the response, there is a space. And in that space lies our freedom and our power to choose our responses. And in our responses lies our growth and our freedom. We're going to work on that this week. I'm going to invite my girlfriend up here, Camille. Camille and I have been good friends since we were 16 years old, and we met at the Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's no longer there on Bee Ridge and 41. Remember that one, Rebecca? Yeah, that's where we met. So Camille has a story, and you want to lead in. Go ahead. Lead in and tell your story, Camille.
So I just got back from my father's celebration of life. And he was luckily only ill for a short amount of time. And it started July. It almost seems like it's been months. But I was able to really think about him as a man and as a father. And so I'm going to tell you just a little bit about how this type of thinking has helped me not only with this situation, but just even the way I look at my father. So I came to some revelations when he was ill about what he meant to be and what his gifts were to me. And so when they said, oh, if anyone wants to speak at the celebration of life, you can. And I'm like, yes, you know, it's really important to me. I've discovered some things. I've thought about some things. So I wrote this great speech. And then we were asked to send it in to the minister. Like, well, that's kind of odd, you know. We want to make sure it's appropriate. Like, well, what's appropriate for one family is not for another. Fine. I sent it in. And then 2 days before we were supposed to leave, I was told that no one was speaking, that my talk was inappropriate, and I had some feelings about that. I was angry, hurt, I mean, all the things, right? And I've gotten pretty good at, because I'm a really emotional person, of, you know, having the feelings and then letting them go. So by the time we left, I was pretty good, but I still felt like when I walked into that room and saw my stepmother and my stepsister who made this decision, that I was going to feel all of it, unloved and not good enough. But I walked in, and it was fine. I had none of those feelings. And so I'm going to share with you the speech that I wrote, and I thank you, Theresa, for giving me this opportunity, because it all comes from this type of teaching. I've studied yoga, religious science, unity, Buddhism, and it takes practice, but it's made a huge difference in my life. So I've only really come to understand the most important gift that my father gave me. Don't do that, Diane. She's going to make me cry. Really in the last month, right? The last couple months of really, you know, we don't take the time to think about people. We just live our lives, we run around, and I just had this revelation about really what he meant to me. And there's certain things I always knew, right? I always knew he gave me the gift of adventure and wanting to really live life. He was a traveling salesman in the glamorous days of flying in the 60s, and he would spend weeks of time out of the country, all over the world. He's been to almost every country in the world, selling, of all things, like at-sea shrimp freezers. This is why we have really good seafood. And he would come back and tell these stories, and I was just like filled with wonder of you know, all these cultures and faraway places. A friend or a colleague of his came to visit from Japan and taught me how to use chopsticks at age 5. And some of the best stories, and if anyone wants to hear them, I will tell you them. Over my entire life, I have heard these stories of these shenanigans, and I mean some of them were shenanigans all over the world. And the second gift is the love of a good time. My dad loved to party, he loved to dance, and you know, if we could hold our liquor, we were invited along. And this, I think, was the inappropriate part. You know, he respected us to make good choices, and he led by example. And so he trusted us to make good choices, and if, you know, you had to learn, I think this is true even now, right? How many drinks you can have over dinner, you know? And I learned that from my father, not from any lectures. We were out at this big, it must have been Christmas, because like the whole extended clan was at a show called The Big Wheelie and the Hubcaps, right? This 50s band. And I am so adult and so grown up with all the adults, you know, and the whole family, and felt so grown up when I ordered a screwdriver at age 15, you know. And then he loved to dance. During the 70s, he would drag me out on the dance floor and automatically start Saturday Night Fever in it. And Theresa, we were rock and roll girls, man. Led Zeppelin, disco. And he would do it every time. And, you know, instead of like getting all, because he knew, right? He knew. But I would go right along with him. I'm like Saturday Night Fever in it, right on the dance floor, you know, because he was having such a good time. He never took himself seriously. And so how could I? And of course, 16-year-olds take themselves very seriously. So I just have all these great memories of like his, you know, his extended family from his second wife and all these great times playing games and just, you know, really a lot of fun being with him. He really only started to slow down at about 78 or so. But the most important gift was total acceptance and unconditional love. My father never told me, you should be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that, you got to get your act together, you know, and all that could have been said at various times in my life. I hadn't thought about his type of parenting really and what he meant to me because he was an absentee father, right? He was gone all the time as a kid. He left when I was 12. He moved to a different state. So, you know, I was like thought about him as like this, you know, fun uncle. But then when I thought about it, right, when I thought about the lack of lectures, the lack of, you know, when he did see me, well, Cam, you know, what's happening, whatever, it just was like a light bulb, right, that went off in my head, that the gift of complete acceptance of exactly who we were, when we were at it, and he knew that we had our own lives to live, that we had our own lessons to learn, and he wasn't going to apply any of his own beliefs on us, right? That was up to us to figure out. And the beauty was he treated everyone like this. He never met a person he didn't love. He never had a person who wasn't a friend. He could talk to you about anything. He would be interested in what you were interested in. And it's just such a gift. I've been calling him a Zen master, right? My dad was deeply faithful later in his life. But I've had to really work at this, you know? And he just came by it naturally. But I think because of that, it kind of opened me up to this type of teaching, right? That I didn't have a lot of judgment growing up. And as human beings, the human condition is to always have those voices. You're not good enough. You're never going to measure up. You're unlovable. And part of this teaching is to silence those voices, because we all have them. And we have to, you know, change what we say to ourselves. You know, the science of mind is that we have control of our mind. So I just really, you know, I was able to come to this realization, accept all my family and all their decisions around the funeral, and I really wouldn't have done that without this teaching. Namaste. Thank you.
I wonder how many of you can put yourself in that position. Imagining, you know, being the oldest child in the family, wanting to honor your dad and your memory, and being told you couldn't. This teaching does do beautiful things. Yeah. I can also attest to there would have been a lot of things her daddy could have counseled her on, being that I've known her since she was 16. We got in a lot of trouble. Thich Nhat Hanh talks about the futility of blame, he calls it. Just think about that phrase, the futility of blame. Can you apply that to that story? What would have done? What would have happened? Her experience coming away from that entire time with family would have been tainted, wouldn't it have? Would it have been better? And it wasn't a matter of stuffing feelings, because Camille doesn't stuff feelings. She looks at them. She learns from them, right? So that's not what we're talking about. But so Thich Nhat Hanh, in his futility of blame, talks about the damage that it can cause if we are to just start pointing fingers and being loud and blaming, right? Other people. So he uses a really adorable metaphor for lettuce. Lettuce. He says, if lettuce doesn't grow well in your garden, we don't blame the lettuce. Right? We don't blame the lettuce. What do? We care for it. We nurture it. Right? We may weed, we may give some fertilizer, we watch it, we care for it. That's what we do. We tend to it. Yeah. Can we do the same thing by maybe seeking understanding or namaste at the very least? That's the presence of God. That's the presence of God that has made me so angry. So what can we do with that? Yeah? Remember last week when Ingrid sang when we were chanting and she had the St. Francis prayer in there, you know? May I seek to understand rather than be understood. You know, very appropriate at times. Any event, Camille had an event. Any event can be that stimulus that Viktor Frankl was talking about, yes? Yeah? Between stimulus and response, there's a space, and in that space lies our freedom and our power to choose. Yeah, and in that is our freedom. Yeah, so anything in your life, any disagreement with anyone, any uncomfortability, anytime you show up in a place and every time you're there you don't feel like you can be yourself, your true self, whatever it is, it's a stimulus. And if we can bring this idea of oneness into it, practice that pause, consciously choose. What is the story that I'm telling myself right here, right now? What happened? Maybe how are other people impacted? How do other people feel? How can this be better? How can this never happen again? If we take a moment to choose. So, I have a practice for us. Ernest Holmes said that peace comes from a sense of union with the whole. Peace comes from a sense of union, that oneness, that namaste, what we're talking about, right? And confusion comes from what? The sense of separation. The sense of separation. So this meditation came from Meditation Magazine, and it's their heart issue. It's the one that's out right now. There's a meditation in there by Kimberly Snyder. And the goal of this, the opportunity in this practice, is to see win-win solutions for us. Make us more available to win-win solutions. Because the more of us that do this work, the more of us come into the power of the heart. We had that exercise earlier where we closed our eyes, felt into our heart, opened back up. The more peace we embody. The more we can do that, the more peace we embody. Collectively, the more each of us do it individually, the more all of us have that. It radiates out. And therefore, that's the closer we are every time you practice, is the closer we get to a world that works for everyone and everything. Yes? All right, so let's sit up. Sit up straight, if you will. Have that spine straight, and again, once again, your front soft. Spine straight, erect, alert, available, aware, awake. Front soft, receptive, open, available. With that awareness, feel yourself on the chair. Maybe shake it off, shake loose any tension that you might feel from sitting here for this time. Wiggle your shoulders, get yourself nice and comfortable and aligned. Feel yourself settled, fully on your chair, recognizing the floor supporting the chair, the earth below that. There's a grand universal support right here, right now. And I invite you to bring your focus to your heart. Bringing your awareness to the heart. I invite you, if you will, if you want to, place a hand or both hands, one on top of the other. We can locate our heart. Let's say it's at the center of our chest, so we don't get caught up with really where it is. Place your hands in the center of your heart or your chest. With the awareness of this being the area of the physical heart and the energetic spiritual heart. The American Journal of Cardiologists reported that we can rewire the nervous system, change our thoughts, and perceive a greater availability of peace when we just simply focus here in the heart space. And now, if you will, we're going to generate feelings of appreciation. Focusing on the area of the heart, recall someone or something that you appreciate. It can be a person, a parent, a spouse, a sibling, a friend, a grandchild. It can be a pet, a place, a beautiful sunset. But it is that which brings the energy of appreciation throughout your body. Focus it here on your heart, on your heart space. Feeling gratitude, belonging, thankfulness, even awe or expansiveness. And dive in even deeper. Imagining that person's face or that place or the pet or whatever elicits, bring that person's or that thing, or place yourself on the beach at sunset and allow yourself to really absorb, build those feelings and focus those feelings in the heart space. And when you feel ready, try dropping that image, that place or the face, and continue to build those feelings of appreciation and gratitude. So now the focus has shifted from the face, shifted from the place to the heart. And witness yourself generating more and more gratitude, more and more appreciation. Now breathe through this as if you're breathing in and out from the heart space. Feel the breath, feel the movement in the heart center. Breathing in through the heart, out through the heart. slowly, everything is absorbed. Every function of the body absorbed in appreciation, in gratitude, in awe. Now I invite you to bring your hands into prayer pose and give great thanks to your heart for all its love. Show appreciation to the self, to the body, to the mind, to the people in our lives, to the people that we're in relationship with the people we greet during the day that we may or may not know, to the people we might term others or enemies or those that feel or do differently than us. Let us remember oneness. Let us be at peace. Let us radiate peace in our relationships. And so be it, and so it is.
In the dark, I watered you, but you made me coarse and left me blue, wanting love to come from you. Made in the dark with stone and blood, my mama saved me from the flood, and I see you now for what you are. Dive deep, dig your nails in the dirt, welcome in the shadow and the beast. When your mind invents the answers to anything you'd ask, be free. Now in the dark I watered you, but you made me coarse and left me blue and wanting love to come from you, an unrequited cue. Made in the dark with stone and blood, my mama saved me from the flood, but I see you now for what you are, the queen. Thank you.
So this is our time for conscious giving. And conscious giving, Teresa's been talking about consciousness for 5 years, but a lot in the last couple of weeks. And so when we give consciously, we're giving from that space where we know that we feel that giving forth, that sense that we're sharing whatever it is that we have, whether it's wealth or love or feeling peace. So as we give forth from our abundance, and you recognize that gift that you're giving, and you're holding in consciousness if it's an electronic gift like mine is, or hold it in physicality if it's a check or whatever else you've got, cash. Okay. And just know with me that as we give forth, we receive. As we receive, we give forth more. That as we simply bless the giver, bless the gift, and support this wonderful Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast, allowing it to be a powerful source of peace, love, joy, and understanding in the community. So we know this to be true, and it's true for each and every one of us here, and so it is. So it is.
Thank you, Rev G. Let's sing together. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on.
Thank you all so much for your generous support of this center. I have a few announcements today. Any of our first-time visitors, we are so happy that you joined us today and decided to spend some time with us. And we have a special gift for you. It's an issue of the Science of Mind magazine, which has been in continuous publication for 93 years. So we think we have something important to share, and we think you'll enjoy it. This comes, you can pick it up at the information table here, and we'd be happy to gift that to you. And again, welcome. Thanks for being here. If you'd like to know what's going on at our center, I really encourage you to go on Facebook or our website and sign up for our newsletter. So you get this all delivered to your inbox, all this information about what's happening here every Thursday or Friday, but it comes weekly to you. And it's a compilation of things going on here at the center, and also with some things about Centers for Spiritual Living International. So September is usually or often back to school time for the youngins, but maybe it could be back to school time for us as well. You know, in the Science of Mind teaching, we say, change your thinking, change your life, and it sounds like a big idea and a big promise. But it's based in spiritual principle. It's a thing. And I'll be teaching a 6-week class about this starting September the 24th. It's on Zoom from 6 to 8:30 in the evening. So you can be wherever you are on a particular Tuesday evening and join us. So I encourage you, and if you've even taken it before, some people have, there's always more to deepen and to reawaken in our awareness of these spiritual principles and practices. So I invite you to join us. There's a sign-up sheet over here at the information table. You can also sign up via a link in the newsletter. I'll be around after the service if you have any questions about the class. On Wednesdays, we have Spiritual Living Circle, which is hosted by Nicole Leeds this coming week. And we discuss a Science of Mind article, magazine article rather, a Science of Mind magazine article. So if you'd like to participate, again, register with via the newsletter, and we'll send you that information, the Zoom link, and the article and the discussion guide. It's such a wonderful way to be in communication. We call it our midweek faith lift. And it does you more good than any Botox or whatever. At the Center for Spiritual Living, we believe in the power of affirmative prayer. And I will be your practitioner of the day. If you'd like to avail yourself of a short prayer time, please meet me over here on my right, your left, by the screen, and I will support you around whatever prayer intention you may have. You can also leave a prayer request in the basket or go online to cslculturalcoast.org under the prayer drop-down menu and leave an intention for a prayer request for the coming week there as well. If your time permits, please join us after the service. We are having what we're calling Lunch and Learn with Reverend Theresa. It's an opportunity to get some questions answered, to learn more about this teaching, more about our center, and spend a little bit more time in community. And did I mention pizza is going to be served? So if your schedule permits, you are more than welcome to attend. We'll start probably in about 15 minutes or so, Theresa? 15, 20 minutes? Yeah, okay. And let's see, what else? I guess that's it. Thanks for being with us today. Jamie's going to conclude, sing us out for this service. Thanks for being here. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Hope to see you again soon.
Phil said this would be a good song for me, and I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. So we're going to do this one now. Thanks, Phil. It's a good idea. I rode my bicycle past your window last night, and I roller skated to your door at daylight, and it almost seems like you're avoiding me. I'm okay alone, but you got something I need. Well, I've got a brand new pair of roller skates, and you got the brand new key. Well, I think that we should get together and try them out, you see. Now, I've been looking around a while, and you've got something for me. Oh, well, I've got a brand new pair of roller skates, and you got the brand new key. Now I ride my bike, I roller skate, I don't drive no car. I don't go too fast, but I get pretty far. You don't know, saying you're avoiding me. I'm okay alone, but you got something I need. Well, I've got a brand new pair of roller skates, and you've got the brand new key. And I think that we should get together and try them out, you see. Now, I've been looking around a while, and you got something for me. Oh, well, I've got a brand new pair of roller skates, and you've got the brand new key. I asked your mama if you were at home, but she said yes, but that you weren't alone. And it almost seems like you're avoiding me. I'm okay alone, but you got something I need. Well, I got a brand new pair of roller skates, and you got the brand new key. And I think that we should get together and try them out, you see. Now, I've been looking around a while, and you got something for me. Oh, well, I've got a brand new pair of roller skates, and you got the brand new key. Now, I've been looking around a while, and you got something for me. Oh, well, you've got the brand new key.